get everything ready for both the girls so then they could go to bed. We made them dinner. Cleo, she went to bed.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. Well, CCTV has captured Cleo Smith's voice at the Blowholes campsite. Now we've got proof of a sort that 4-year-old Cleo really was at the Blowholes camp, even if no witnesses saw her. If we can rule out something happening at the family home, and it appears we can, then this case suddenly got a whole lot more mysterious, troubling, and difficult. A few scenarios that come into play as a result, and in no particular order, are, well, before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do like, share, leave a comment, and let's get started. So the first possibility, the first scenario that comes into play if Cleo was at the campsite, and it looks like she was, is did Cleo wander off? We know that Cleo went to bed before anyone else. We also know that Cleo was awake at 1:30 in the morning when everyone else was asleep. We also know that when she woke up, she wanted water. It's not clear when Cleo woke up whether she went to her mother or whether Ellie went to her. But I do think there's a possibility that if she came out of the tent to get water, that she may have gotten disoriented in the dark on the way back to bed and wandered off. Remember, a strong wind was blowing in the night, and this sound and the sound of the sea and the sound of the flapping tents may have drowned out the sound of a child calling out for a mother. However, if the CCTV box captured Cleo's voice early in the day, why wouldn't it have captured her voice at night too? One must also consider the possibility of little Cleo drinking water and then perhaps needing to get up to answer a call of nature. Would she have done so alone? The zipper being opened up suggests there could be a third party involved. And that brings us to the second possibility, the second scenario. Was there an abductor? If 4-year-old Cleo needed to answer a call of nature after drinking water at 1:30 in the morning, would she have asked for assistance? Her mother said that the onesie, I'm not sure if that's the right term, but the pajamas that sort of had, it was a sort of a single piece suit, was something that she'd need help getting out of. The other aspect is that someone would need to stay in the tent to keep an eye on Isla, right? Personally, I found it odd that Jake is entirely left out of the narrative for that night. Ellie doesn't mention what he did or didn't do, and Jake doesn't volunteer anything that he saw or didn't see. One of his earliest remarks in one of the interviews that he gave is that it was scary, just that word. What could have happened after answering the call of nature? That's if it happened. Depending on the time, possibly there were fishermen going out and possibly a guardian, and Cleo went to look at something in the twilight before returning to the tent when something happened. There's also a lighthouse in the area. It's possible that they went to look at that. And, there's a staircase leading up to it. If something did happen to Cleo, why was her sleeping bag removed afterwards? And this doesn't fit the MO of an abductor. Would Cleo have removed it herself? And that brings us to the third and final point, negligence with a question mark. Another possibility is that the campers camped and lost track of Cleo, believing her to be sleeping. Sometime during the night, something happened to Cleo. Perhaps she was ridden over, perhaps she left the tent of her own accord and was ridden over by a vehicle in the area. Perhaps she fell, perhaps she rode on her bike and fell. A few people have suggested she could have drowned. Others have suggested looking at the blowholes. Now, I will put a link in the description to a good overview of the area. It's using a drone, and it gives a good description of everything that's in the area and what they say. And bear in mind, this has got nothing to do with this case. This video was created long before now. It describes certain dangerous areas at the Blowhole campsite. It refers to the possibility of being washed off the rocks. It also refers to sharks that come very close to the shore, right? So those are certainly possibilities one's got to consider here. And then it also, right at the end, shows the nature of the shacks that are in that area. Now, while we're on that topic, someone brought to my attention the sort of fact that the abduction of children isn't that rare. It does happen. And then what is shown in the article are sort of three instances of cases that have happened separated by several decades. So it is fairly rare. So I'll put a link in the description to this particular article, but it refers to three other instances. One from 2014, that's 7 years ago. Another from 1993, even further back, and then going all the way back to 1966. That is all that they were able to find. And that's really not a lot. It's really not a lot. The fact that there's no evidence of what happened to Cleo does suggest that something seems to have been covered up. Otherwise, Cleo would have been found where she fell, right? The way that a lot of other children are found. And so it does raise the question, why would anyone cover up whatever happened to Cleo? Okay, so I'm not going to take it further than that. I just want to make a note that if the comments are disabled, that is not done by me. If you do want to leave a comment, head on to Crime Rocket on Twitter. It's at Crime Rocket. And you can leave a comment there. Use the hashtag Cleo Smith. Thank you for listening. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do. You can click on the icon on the bottom right of the screen. Like, share, as I say, leave a comment on Twitter if it's disabled. And I'll see you guys next time.